What's going on, Jeromes? We're back daily Jerome's live stream, 11 a.m. Central Time, Monday through Thursday, talking Vikings as the best 6-9 team in NFL history. Nice. So we got a bunch of Q&A. Is that you, Rona? That we're going to get to. Also, December Teespring sale. Down the store down below. Get your mugs, get your shirts. Promo code FLANG. 19% off everything. Hit that up for Producer Alley Rockstar. All right, let's go. Mr. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. Is 99 a lock for comeback player of the year this time next year? Certainly up there. I'm trying to think. Like maybe OBJ if he catches on somewhere else next year. Maybe Joe Burrow if he's able to hit the ground run next season. So, yeah. But, yeah, Danielle Hunter coming back, putting up 17 and a half sacks, 100 pressures, just getting after it again. I can't wait, man. Ryan Burke. Thoughts on potentially pursuing Troy Hill from the Rams during the offseason? We'll have to give it some thought. We'll have to, because we're just scratching the surface on free agency. And of course, free agency always shifts because there's always surprise cuts and guys getting punted and whatnot. But, you know, I would be more inclined to spend in free agency on the offensive line. Yeah. Offensive line. Like, if somehow, some way we can squeeze blood from a stone, like we did a video on, if the Vikings can get Kirk Cousins to take just a little bit less and then just throw all the money at Joe Thuney or Brandon Scherf, let's go. Let's go. Wardism. Do we pick up the newly released Haskins? No. Alex Daniels. Trade up in the second round one time. I mean, if the right guy's there, don't trade up just to trade up. But if there is a dude that you want there, the Vikings have the ammo to do it. They have 2/3. They have... Well, they're going to have... I think I have 5/4. No. All right, so Tankathon. They're going to have 4/4 after the commensurate picks come in. Sorry, I just ate a piece of turkey with a ton of pepper on it. That's what it is. It's not Rona. Yep. All right, next up. Next up is Skull Zone. Should the Vikings bring back J-Ron Kearse, who was recently cut by the Lions? It would be intriguing, but J-Ron and Zimmer, that's some bad blood, man. Like there's a lot of beef there. I don't see that passing over. Hunter Payton, starting Nate Stanley or Jake Browning this weekend. I would say half and half. Give both a half because even though, yes, if you're going to play Jefferson, he wants to go after the record. Is he necessarily going to get it with Stanley or Browning? Yeah, but either way, I'd like to get both of them sometime. Lord Edane, rank the Vikings quarterbacks from the last 20 years. Who is your number one? Bert Favre. So 20 years, so 2000. So I guess we missed out on Randall Cunningham. So I would go Dante 1. I mean, Dante should have been league MVP in 2004. People forget that, even though the team was 8-8. But Dante 1, Cousins 2, Brett 3. Just because even though the 1 year was amazing, it was just 1 year. Plus 2010 weighs it down. Then it gets really sketchy. I guess Gus Farrat at times. God, that's depressing. No, I'll go Teddy 4. Teddy 4. Farrat 5. T-Jack 6, rest in power. Ponder 7. Fat Nab 9. 8. I don't know. It really doesn't matter after you get past like 5. Left noob. How different would the Vikings look in with the 2019 defense? Enhance. With the 2020 offense, easily 10 to 12 wins. They might go undefeated. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Blah, blah, blah. What does Rick have to up his sleeve for this draft? Aces. All aces. Lil Choo Choo. Who's the next Viking to break out next year? I feel like Brian O'Neill already busted out to a degree, even though he had some down moments this year, sure. But, man, he basically blanked Khalil Mack and Cameron Jordan in back-to-back games. That's pretty solid. Breakouts. Left tackle Ezra Cleveland. Does that count? DJ Wanham. Oh. Abza Abdi. Should Hard Knocks do a series on the Vikings? If so, would you binge watch it? I would watch it. But it would be interesting, sure. But I don't know how interesting the Vikings would be. I mean, yeah, Zimmer was great on Hard Knocks the 2 times he was on in Cincinnati, but I feel like as a head coach, he'd have different feelings about it. I feel like he would do anything in his power, even though the Vikings, since they missed the play, well, what are the requirements for Hard Knocks? Team hasn't made the playoffs in either last 2 seasons. Team doesn't have a first-year head coach. Team hasn't been in the program the last 10 years. Yeah, so the Vikings are eligible. Hasn't made the playoffs in either of the last 2. The wording of that's weird. Hasn't made the playoffs in either of the last 2 seasons. All right, yeah, so the Vikings didn't make it this year, allegedly. So, yeah, they're in. Next up is Patrick Harms. Top 5 Vikings that will be pleasant surprises to us next season. Ezra, Irv, DJ Wanham, James Lynch, one time, Harrison Hand, Alex Daniels, safety in the first 3 rounds. This is a nice safety class. I mean, I don't think there's going to be any first round safeties this year, but I mean, the talent from rounds 2 to 4, it's pretty damn solid. So yeah, the Vikings do go safe in their first 3 rounds. I wouldn't be mad at it, especially if the right guy falls, and especially if Anthony Harris walks. Plus, Harrison is going to be third too. Vikings sports. Should the Vikings draft Trey Lance? Also, what do you think about trying to sign Will Fuller? I mean, if he's there, they'd have to consider it. Will Fuller, no. Especially the money he's going to be getting. Nah. Atso Mikinen. Vikings aren't drafting offense until 6th round after the last Sunday's game. If Zimmer still has input, it's possible. A little choo-choo. Cut, trade, keep. Daniil, Jefferson, Dell. Well, it's a dumb game, but you can keep all 3 of them. But I guess I would trade Daniil because he'll probably get the biggest return. Actually, or Jefferson. No, I trade Daniil because he's 6 years older than Jefferson. Keep Jefferson, and then I would cut Dalvin, I guess, just because of the running back position. What's the deal? Was our pass D good, or was Breeze just bad like always? I think it's a combination of it was so easy to run, and Breeze, the arm is dead. It is. I mean, if they ever get a spot where they have to win a shootout, I don't think they can hang. I don't. Kevin Ace, do you think that the Vikings should take a chance on Reed Blankenship middle of day 3? My opinion is day 2 talent with a gruesome leg injury. Worked his way back on the field. He's tough, and he's basically Harrison Smith. Oh, just because he's white? No, but Blankenship was at Middle Tennessee State. Yeah, pretty damn solid. It's a good safety class this year. I mean, Paris Ford, Caden Stearns, both Morig and Washington from TCU. It's good. Eisenworth from Iowa State. I keep forgetting his name. MJ the GOAT. What's your favorite team other than the Vikings? Same with player that's not a Vikings. Mine is Chiefs and Mahomes. I mean, I guess I've been like a low-key Browns fan ever since they came back in '99. Like, I had a Tim Couch jersey when I was a kid. That's the dedication, man. Favorite player? Diggs? No. Mahomes is hard not to like. Also, Aaron Donald. My God. Aaron Donald's up there, too. Alan Brumleve. What is your favorite thing to hunt? Also, what is your all-time dream hunt? So, mainly deer. Mainly whitetails, I guess. Just because of, I mean, that's basically all I've hunted. I'm going to try archery hunting turkeys in the spring. I heard it's really difficult, but why the hell not? I'm used to not getting things. Dream hunt? I don't know. Would love to go elk hunting sometime. It'd be great. I don't know if I want to do a bear hunt because bears like run faster than we can. Plus, 2,000 pounds. No, that's not true. 1,500, 1,200. Yeah. Plus, also, so I prefer bow hunting to boomstick. So you're just out there with a stick and a string, and I don't know, like a 44 and a can of mace. You're like, okay, bring it on, bear. I don't know, man. I don't know. Miles. Do you think Hunter and the Vikes will work out a new deal? Yes, I would imagine Daniil will take less to keep the squad together, but he does deserve more money than he's getting. Yeah, I think there will be compromise there. I think Daniil will probably end up in the $21-22 million a year range. I think they'll work that out. Abza Abdi, would you rather move the draft to mid-March or extend the trade deadline to mid-December? I guess move the trade deadline. Yeah, because the draft is fine where it is because it doesn't encroach on free agency. Also, it spaces out the offseason better. So, I mean, if those mid-March, then you'd have nothing essentially from that end of July. Yeah. T. Johnson, Vikings enter the NFC Championship game. Kirk down with a broken tailbone. You have Dwayne Haskins or Nate Stanley on the bench? Who starts? I guess he'd start Dwayne because he actually has NFL experience. But also, so the biggest problem in that people are like, well, give Dwayne Haskins a second chance. He sucks. He's really bad. He is not good at all. And yeah, the whole coming from a collegiate offense, I understand he threw 50 touchdowns, but also you look at the talent around him as well as in a very collegey offense. I mean, it's not there. It's not there. Westworld. Justin Fields falls out of the top 5. How tempting would the trade up be? Not tempting. Like Justin Fields, he's got the arm, he's got the size, he's got the speed, but we've talked about ad nauseum his pocket awareness when things get off schedule. Like if things aren't absolutely perfect, it's really bad. It's not great. His pocket issues are very similar to Kirk Cousins. So I mean, hell, if he fell to 13, wherever the Vikings pick, it would get tempting, but I don't think he will. I think because teams, you're not going to get fired so quick if you take a chance on a guy like Justin Fields. He looks the part, big arm, big school, big production, right? I'm just not sold. Kevin Ace, how does a person get a scouting job in the NFL? Well, you have to be addicted to pain and travel. All right, so working connections is the way to do that. Being the son of a scout, being the son of a coach, just getting your way in there, working for free a lot of places. And also, if you do get, say, an entry-level scouting job, it's probably going to be a regional scout first. So you'll have an area of the country. You're going to be on the road for 270 days a year, probably more. And you're probably going to be making $25,000 a year because there was an old maxim where it's the NFL likes scouts 25-25, so 25 years old and making $25,000 a year. I mean, you got to be dedicated to the life, man. You do. Samuel Halverstead, what's your ideal yet possible Vikings offseason? Restructure Barr, cut Rudy, cut Stefan. Redo Riley Reif's deal, sign Joe Thuney, draft 2 offensive linemen before round 4, draft 2 defensive linemen, including a 3-tech, including an edge guy, and then just pick and choose. Like wide receiver 3 returner, quarterback of the future mid-rounds, safety is going to be big. Beef up the linebacker unit a little bit. Yeah. So here. Brady Miller. So if you want Kwity Paye, what's your plan with Wanham? Use all of them. Absolutely. Especially if you're going to be moving to more of a multiple front. I mean, there's ways to use all of them. Like Kwity Paye, his best position, I mean, he would be great as a 5-tech in the 3-4. Or if the Vikings do go to more of like a 3-3-5 nickel. And DJ Wanham, they're just scratching the surface of his versatility because if you watch the South Carolina tape, he's all over the place. Like he's on the close side of the field, hand the dirt, on the open side of the field, and hand the dirt. He's standing, he's up in the A-gap. Like he's all over the place. And also, I mean, Zimmer on third down has used Wanham as a de facto stand-up linebacker, putting up up over the A gap in the mug look. So, I mean, having too many guys who can get after it on the edge, that's a good problem to have. It is. Lord Adane. I think the Vikings should get all YOLO with Stanley this week. He did things at Iowa. Sure. He did things at Iowa, like completing less than 55% of his passes. Also, he was only good when he had Hawkinson and Noah Fant, but he does have a strong arm. He does. Westworld. Who do you think will pick up Haskins? The Raiders. Yeah. Samson Romaine. Pick up Thuney and bring back Josh Klein one time. I wouldn't be mad at that. Old New England teammates. Let's go. John Anderson TV. Trade up for Wilson or hope that Trey Lance falls. Also saw some fans say they should lose out. Go 6-10 at this point for better draft position. What do you think about that? I wouldn't say intentionally lose out, but if it happens, it's whatever. Sure. I would consider trading up for Zach Wilson. Like if he gets out of the top 5, I would trade up. I would rather trade up for Wilson than Fields, 100%. And I think that Trey Lance may fall just because of the small school stuff, just because of the not playing for a year. And even though it's absolute moronicness to be like, well, Carson Wentz didn't work out, so what about Trey Lance? They're two completely different players. And again, it may impact just a little bit, so he may fall into the range for the Vikings, and it would be intriguing. Hawaii Viking. Trade Kurt for cap space, sell out for J.J. Watt. Quiddy pay? Oh, yeah. Quiddy pay Michael Pierce, D. Hunter on our D-line next year one time. Man, that would be great. I don't think a team would trade for Kirk. Like maybe the Niners, outside chance. Maybe the Broncos, outside chance. But, man. But, yeah, that would be a sick D-line. Alex Daniels. What do you think about signing interior defensive line Shelby Harris, unrestricted free agent from Denver this year, stout against the run, get after it and pass rush a little bit, but long arms, bats down, lots of balls. Doesn't seem to be a big name free agent. Might not be a big market. PFF consistently grades him 80 plus above, a 90. I haven't done enough work on Shelby Harris. It's so weird about if a player's not in your division or not in your conference, you're just sort of like, whatever. So, Tyler Newman. Kirk reunite with Washington after a Haskins departure. God, how great would that be? It'd be just hilarious. Hey, let us know where you're watching from. We give a couple of shout-outs. Cascanaway, do we get any picks from the Diggs trade if the Bills win the Super Bowl? No, everything's set in stone. All right, so the Vikings got a 1-5-6 from the Bills last year. They traded the 5 and the 6 to the Bears and the Ravens, respectively. So now they have a 4-5 from the Bears and Ravens this year, as well as a 4 from the Bills. So the Vikings still have a 4-4-5 this year in the Stephon Diggs trade. And so far, so we pointed that out in one of the videos, and then people were like, oh, those picks are stupid. They're low draft picks. All 3 of the picks were before Stephon Diggs was drafted in the 5th round, so shut up, morons. Cody Ponsack. What is your absolute ideal defensive line if you could have any 4 in the league? Man. So, Daniil, healthy. I'll go healthy Daniil. I'll go Aaron Donald and Chris Jones. And I'll go... Yeah, I'll just put TJ Watt as a hand in the dirt defensive end. Or do you go Bosa? Or do you go Myles Garrett? Actually, I'm going to go Daniil and Myles Garrett. Also, Daniil plays left defensive end, so that's important. And then I'm just going to play even defensive tackle, so no real nose, but I'm going to go Chris Jones and Aaron Donald and just get after it. Cody Ponsack. Hire one as your head coach, Herman Boone from Remember the Titans, or Nate Scarborough from The Longest Yard, or Coach Klein from Waterboy. I would go Coach Klein because he actually has an inventive offense. Herman Boone, split veers like Novocaine. Give it time, works every time. Like his idea of a trick play was the reverse. So now, Nate Scarborough. So, God, was he a running back in the original one? I don't know. Also, didn't he wear number 2? Something I do miss is quarterbacks wearing 20 series numbers because that happened in college, it happened in football. So, Heath Schuler, I believe, wore 21 at Tennessee before he was taken. I think number 5 overall in 1994 by Washington. I think Nate Scarborough wore 22 as the quarterback in The Longest Yard, the original version with Burt Reynolds. Mike Winchell from Friday Night Lights, like the original movie, not the made-up TV show, he wore 20. They need to bring that back, man. Mike Miller. Shout-outs. Let's see here. Let's see here. Only Charlie, Seattle. Brett Charles, Montana. Almost said Montreal. Seth V. Herman, Fargo. Brian Hennings, Coon Rapids. Ricky Trill, Waterloo. Isaac Ruprecht, Pinkerton, Ohio. Paz Mello, Skull from Greenbow. Patrick Harm, Cedar Rapids. Luke Gillette, Northern Iowa. Darius Martin, Seattle. We said that one? No. Purple Rain, Skull from Wausau, Wisconsin. Ellen Brumleve, Southern Illinois, Saluki. Jacob Mejia Megat, Oakdale, in the Hizzy. Shane Jensen, Mankato. What's up? You guys are the best. Thanks for coming along. Daily Jerome's live stream. Next up is Mike Miller. From 2021 NFL Draft, would you package 3 first-round picks to get a franchise quarterback, or would you do what it takes to get Deshaun Watson from the Texans? So would you give up 3 ones to go up and get... I would give up 3 ones to get Trevor Lawrence, but that's about it. Yeah. I think 3 ones is too much of a gamble. I'm not a fan of Fields. Be a big gamble for Wilson. Yeah, and you're not doing it for Trey Lance. So. Or would the Texans give up Deshaun for 2 ones? That'd be the question. But then how would you work that out with the cap space of Kirk? Probably just cut Kirk. Yeah, I mean, there's always ways around it. There's always money in the banana stand. Viking sports. I look back on the 2017 Vikings defense. We had such a good defense. Harrison Smith, Danielle Hunter, Kendricks Bar, team was so good, and Dalvin tore his ACL that year. Imagine if we had Dalvin healthy that season. What do you think? I mean, they did pretty good without him, right? So McKinnon and Latavius actually fared pretty damn well without Dalvin Cook. But yeah, if he stayed fully healthy, I mean, the Vikings would have been a bully that year. I mean, also, Bradford looked so damn good that first game against the Saints, too. That's rough. Kyle Nelson, would Everson Griffin be worth picking up as a backup DN? What's the probability of... yes, if he would take the pay cut. I don't know if he would, though. What is the possibility of the Vikings trading up in the second round, and what would it cost? I think the right guy would have to fall, but probably by the chart, one of the 3s and the high 4 at minimum. Depends on how high you're getting in the second round. Miles. I know we shouldn't draw too much info from this, but Michael Pierce seems to be doing well. He seems to be working out, and in the pictures he posts, he looks fit. It's such a weird pet peeve. I know that it's dumb, but Michael Pierce live tweeting games, it kind of bugs me. It's like, you should be there, man. Cam the man. Is it bad that I really miss Anthony Barr right now? I feel like he could have made a decent difference in the past 2 losses. Yeah, don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? Dylan James, how was your Monday? I love Mondays, man. Back into the routine, back in the work week. I actually struggle when there's not routine. Like when you just have time off. That's why the holiday is always weird. Because like, you're just disoriented and full of cheese and cookies and stuff. And now it's like, but yeah, I like being in a routine. I like the off season too, man. Less breaking news, so we can actually do some deep dives on some an analysis on this team, so we can do more film work, talk draft all day long. It's great, man. T. Johnson. I feel like Anthony Harris really had an average, quiet season this year. What do you think will happen with Harris this offseason? I think he'll walk. I think the Vikings will let him walk. Will he command top-tier safety money? Probably not. Will he get somewhere in the 3-year, $24 million a year range in free agency? Probably. The Vikings want to pay that? Probably not. Are free. See J.J. Watt's post-game interview. Players are and so-called fans who think professionals Shatang needs to watch it. He needs to be a head coach when he's done. Yeah, that was great, man. So basically, yeah, he called out. Well, first off, he called out players who aren't putting in that work because it's a privilege to play in the NFL. Absolutely, it is. As well as. He expounded on like what Becton talked about after the Jets won their first game. Like, we're not going to lose. Like, we're playing to win. We're playing our asses off, man. And just because it's going to help, our so-called draft position, where we're probably just going to draft a bust anyway. Okay. Yeah, it's so funny with the whole tank for Trevor people. It's like, oh, you really trust Rick Spielman suddenly to draft a quarterback of the future? You do that? You trust that? Also, if the Vikings were in the top 5, you trust them to take a QB in that spot? Or they're just going to take Caleb Farley? Derpy. BC or BB for wide receiver 3, since the Vikings probably won't draft another wide receiver till very late rounds unless he blows away in training camp. I don't think a late draft pick will start. I mean, hell, if Devonta Smith is there, God, that'd be tempting. But it's a pretty good wide receiver class. I think it's hyperbolic to say that it's deeper than the 2020 class, but there's some really decent names who are going to be potentially falling because of opt-outs and because of who knows what's going to happen. Is there going to be a combine? Is there going to be a Senior Bowl? Actually, is there going to be a Senior Bowl? I know the invites are going out, but are they actually going to have the game? I should know that. Eric Normal. Do you think the Vikings should award Hunter with a substantial pay raise up until Kirk and the boys? I think that, yeah, he should. If that neck checks out 100% and he's good to go, I think that there should be a market correction with his contract. 1,000%. Seth B. Herman. Who on the current roster should resurrect 96 questions? Michael Pierce. He's a funny dude. Paz Mello. Do you think after the huge year Diggs is having, he's going to want to be paid Hopkins money or at least Michael Thomas money? That means the Bills will be paying Josh Allen $35 million a year and Diggs at least. Yikes! Who really won? Yeah, I hope the Bills fans are enjoying this season because it's going to get a little bit tighter next year. So Brian Daboll is probably going to leave. Their offense coordinator is probably going to get a head coaching job, rightfully so. And also, I think Diggs is going to make a case to be the highest paid receiver in the league. And Josh Allen, just finishing up his 3rd year, they're obviously going to pay him probably even more than 35. I wouldn't be shocked if Josh Allen, if he doesn't get Deshaun or even is scratching Mahomes type money after this season. So, yeah, things are going to get tight. And if Diggs doesn't get it freshening up on the contract, all of a sudden, I think that you're going to start seeing some of the old stuff resurface. So, yeah, enjoy it this year, Bills fans. And it's like we said yesterday. Bills fans are so excited. Like, look at your record. You're not going to the playoffs, and we are. So we obviously won the trade. Okay, check back in 5 years. You're all like, stop the count. Yeah, we'll see. Check back in 2025. Who won the most from that trade? Also, got the 2 4ths and the 5th as fallout from the draft picks that you sent here. So we'll see how those pan out as well. We're Hawaiian Viking. Kirk gives us the best chance to win games now, but I would love to see a new exciting quarterback with pocket presence. And a can to launch to JJ, someone of our own. I just don't get excited for this quarterback. Thoughts? Desmond Ridder, no matter what. God, I love this kid. I love it. Plus, him against Georgia, it's going to be a great game. Kevin Ace, 2022 big board. Kenan, I wish it was pronounced Keaton, because then the hashtag Pedon for Keaton would be great, but Kenan Slovis. Spencer, Howell, McCall, Dustin Crum. I like Dustin Crum. It's kind of a shame he's not coming out this year because I think you could have got him in like the 6th round. But, I think that's the way it's shaping up right now. Sam Howell is intriguing to me. I'm not sold on Rattler. I'm not. Like, I understand that Lincoln Riley, Oklahoma, is a QB factory, but I don't know. Vikings should draft a safety out of Alabama and give him number 39 because Alabama safeties always end up doing well in the NFL for some reason, especially the ones that wear 39. So Minka and Cheeseburger, Eddie Jackson. I still think the Vikings should have traded for Minka 2 years ago, but Kiskanaway. Apparently, the Vikings have the NFC West and AFC North as divisions to play next year. Those are going to be difficult games as those are 2 of the best divisions in all of football. Well, you say that now, but lots of things change, man. Lots of things are different. Like, looking at the schedule this year, I mean, you would have said that the Cowboys would have been one of the toughest games, and I guess they weren't. Right? So, yeah, things change. It's too early to be projecting. That's a win, dog. That's a loss, even though we'll obviously do that for hashtag content. Do you honestly have faith in the Vikings to win a Super Bowl in your lifetime? Yes. And if so, then when? Be realistic. Shut up. Pulford Skull. Yes, they're going to win. Get out of here. Pulford Skull. Hear me out. And all right, so when people say, be realistic, that it just means, hey, be negative, but not overly negative. Just a little bit of negative. So you can be termed realistic, please. Blow it out your ass. Pulford Skull. Hear me out and approach this solely from a business perspective. Go sign Dwayne Haskins now. No. Lamp says the backup and develop behind a good Christian man like Kirk No. Plus Zimmer. Jesus. No. No. Robert Barweiler. With the way the Vikings defense is played, if Zimmer is the coach, we'll be taking a defensive player in the first round. Do you agree? Well, I can see the upside of taking an edge this year. By the way, the edge class is going to be parsed out throughout the draft, as well as, I like DJ Wanham. Is he going to be ready to be that dude, the full-time starter next year? What about Afadi? But, man, if Kwity Paye is there, I like Rousseau. I don't love Rousseau. Jason Oweh. I mean, there's a ton of parallels between Oweh and Danielle Hunter. God, it's going to be tempting, man. It's going to be tempting. I get it. As far as defensive interior, I don't think there's any that are necessarily worth the 13th overall pick. Like, there's no Derek Brown. There's no Kinlaw this year. Davion Nixon is intriguing. Barmore is like a nice, well-rounded defensive tackle. Yeah. Plus, I think there's more value in defensive interior in terms of like second through fourth round. You look at Twyman. You look at Marvin Wilson, who I think is going to take a draft day tumble. Yeah. It really sucks. National media is blaming the Vikings' record on Kirk Cousins, like what they expect him to do, fill the B gap on run plays. I don't think they necessarily are. They might be, but I think it's more fans. They're just by default, whenever anything is wrong, just blame Cousins. Like when the Twins' pitching was bad, blame Joe Mauer. When he was playing first base, not when he was playing catcher. Zaragoza 44. 2009 offense with the 2017 defense. How many Super Bowls do we win? All of them. All of them. That's sick. Harvey Melvin, Percy Harvin traded. Seahawks win a Super Bowl. Diggs traded. Dude is blowing up even more than Minnesota, which is nuts. Bills will be one and done in the playoffs. If Buffalo wins Super Bowl this year, they won't. Can we just fire Spielman for not keeping more homegrown players, Super Bowl caliber talent home? Well, they don't want to be here. So that's the thing, too. I mean, just keeping them against their will in a place where they don't want to play. Do you think they're going to give 100% effort? Nah. Chris Day. Oh, by the way, when Percy won the Super Bowl, he played in like 2 games that year. One was against the Minnesota Vikings. So, man. Chris Danny Hansen. If you could, also he punched Golden Tate, which is funny. If you could have any football coach from any time period in football to coach the Vikings, who would it be? So, taking styles out, like taking eras out of account. So, like George Halas coming in, but not coaching, the wing T. But nah, I wouldn't take Halas. Bill Walsh is the easy answer. I'm also listening to Bill Parcells' biography and starting to really like him. I get, so the Wilfs were longtime New York Giants fans, longtime season ticket holders with the Giants. I can see why they love them, Mike Zimmer, because Zimmer is a Parcells disciple. They crossed paths in Dallas. And Zimmer came highly recommended by Parcells. Of course, being Giants fans, that carries a lot of weight from the tuna. So, yeah, it's still Bill Walsh. Next up, Adam Root. Would you be willing to give up for Minshew? I give up a fifth. We're going to do a video on this sometime this week, but I like Minshew. I really do. He does make big mistakes at times, but he also has it. He does have that mentality that you need. Now, if you can just rein in some of the bad Minshew, yeah. T-Reg. I know it's a long shot, but say we made a couple moves. One including Kirk to the Niners, made some cap room, and brought in JJ. To be thrown next to Michael Pearson, Danielle Hunter, rookie pass rusher, opposite end. Can't tell me that doesn't sound magical. It'd be pretty damn good. With Desmond Ridder at quarterback. Bow to Bob. Both Randy Moss and Chris Carter had character issues, and look how they turned up. Dwayne Haskins should get a second chance with the Vikings. Well, now, hold on. So, taking Randy Moss out, because Randy Moss is whatever. But, I mean, comparing Chris Carter's having to overcome his demons of substance abuse and alcoholism, comparing that to Dwayne Haskins being an entitled brat, no, get the hell out of here with that comparison. It's like comparing apples and Volvos. Frankly, it's insulting to Chris Carter. Also, there's a big difference between quarterback and everyone else. So if your leader if the guy that's going to get you dialed in every week, the guy that you're going to follow to the promised land, is a spoiled, entitled, immature brat who only cares about strip clubs and his passing stats, no, it doesn't work. Now, you can do that if it's a wide receiver and if he has enough supreme talent to overcome all that. So that it's like Randy Moss. So Randy Moss, best wide receiver of all time. Chris Carter, number 3 wide receiver of all time. Chris Carter, ever since he got here in Minnesota, was a Boy Scout. He was absolutely, the A1 guy that you want to emulate and model your work effort after. Randy Moss, I mean, you put up with the shenanigans because he was the best wide receiver in the league. Dwayne Haskins isn't even scratching the surface of being a top 30 quarterback, and I don't know if he will. I wasn't a fan of him coming out of college, so yeah, give him a second chance, even though he's an entitled douchebag at the most important position of all team sports, and he doesn't have the talent. That sounds great. No, F that. Anyways, I'm pissed off. That's it. That's in the live stream. You guys are the best. Yeah, talk to you tomorrow. There you go. Skull. Production value.